I'm going to say something scandalous, Ronnie.
Go on.
Plants are meat. And not only are they meat, they're delicious, especially if they're from Impossible Foods.
They taste like beef.
Exactly. Impossible is making meat history this summer.
Yeah, they are. Summer of Impossible.
I am so excited to be spending time cooking my summer foods, all that good stuff. And guess what? We can use Impossible sausages, Impossible brats. I mean, it's going to be a great summer for Impossible Foods.
Impossible beef is made from plants and 19 grams of protein per serving, and it's better for the planet.
And it's meat.
Plant meat, correct. So if you're looking for something to grab for your grill, grab some Impossible beef.
Summer of Impossible.
Start making meat history today. Just head over to the meat aisle at your local grocery store, grab some Impossible beef or patties, and get grilling. And I'm always trying to get more reading in because it makes me feel so smart. So I'm listening to a lot of titles right now, and I'm doing that with Audible.
I am about to embark on a journey with the audio title The Plot by Jean Hanff Korelitz, and I'm really excited that Audible is there to help me.
As an Audible member, you can choose one title a month to keep from their entire catalog, including the latest bestsellers and new releases. There are thousands of titles. Try Audible free for 30 days. Visit audible.com/crappens or text crappens to 500-500. That's audible.com/crappens or text crappens to 500-500.
I'm Anna.
And I'm Emily, and we're the hosts of Terribly Famous, a new podcast from Wondery.
From Adele to Victoria Beckham and Lily Allen, we take you inside the drama-filled lives of our most talked-about celebrities to find out what it's like to walk in their shoes.
She means their beautiful Prada shoes.
Listen to Terribly Famous wherever you get your podcasts.
Watch what crappens, watch what crappens. Who cares what happens when there's so much that crappens? Crappens, crappens, crappens. Watch what crappens, watch what crappens. Who cares what happens when there's so much that crappens? Watch what crappens, watch what crappens. Who cares what happens when there's so much that crappens?
Hello and welcome to Watch What Crappens, a podcast about all that crap on Bravo that we just love to talk about. I'm Ben Mandelker. Joining me today is the ever fashionable and stylish Mr. Ronnie Karam. Hi, Ronnie. How are you?
Well, hello, Ben. There were no rules today, so I came in a Old Navy yellow shirt.
Yes. You're just gonna be you. You're free to be you, Ronnie. We're talking about Project Runway today, and before we dive into that, please come join us on video for Crappens on Demand. Go to patreon.com/watchforcrappens, and you can watch us recording this episode, not just listen to it. You can watch us, and those videos are available exclusively on Crappens on Demand on Patreon. For a week, and then they go to YouTube. So if you want to get early access to that, go to Patreon. You also get access to our bonus episodes. This week, we're going to do a trailer breakdown of the new Salt Lake City trailer. Salt Lake City is coming back in about 2 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks, September 5th, I believe. So come join for that. That should be up. I don't know when that's going to be up. It's going to be up this week. And also next Monday at 5:30 p.m. on the West Coast, 8:30 p.m. on the East Coast on Instagram Live, we are doing Crappy Hour. So come join us for an hour of talking about Bravo, talking about gossip, talking about whatever's on the show, talking about these trailers, whatever it is. We talk, we bring you guys up, you guys talk. It's super fun. We had a great first Crappy Hour last week. We do it every 2 weeks. First and the third Mondays of the month. So come join us for that. We're at Watch What Crappens. So follow along there, turn your notifications on, and you'll find out when the show starts, goes live. So that's all the big news. And today, we dive into an episode of Project Runway that honestly seems like it wasn't even meant to be, and they decided at the last minute, let's do an episode. Let's throw an episode onto our schedule, because it was like no judge, no rules. It seemed like they just barely had a location. It seemed like, were they supposed to do this episode?
I was a little confused about how they planned this one. Like, was it Parks and Rec division of New York City? Like, guys, we really want to bring attention to the Franklin D. Roosevelt Park. So can we find a way to work that in? They're like, yes. let's do something at the Franklin D. Roosevelt Park. And they're like, guys, welcome to the Franklin D. Roosevelt Park. Today's episode is sponsored by the Franklin D. Roosevelt Park. I was like, what the fuck is going on with this park? Who cares? Fucking park. What are you trying? Are you selling tickets to the park? Why are we branding the park?
Please welcome my dear friend, Franklin Delano Roosevelt. As you may know, Franklin Roosevelt gave us the New Deal. We needed a new deal because my dear friend Gail Simmons ate the old deal. Bless her heart.
He also sang one of the most iconic songs in Annie, We've Got Annie. Hey, we've got Annie. Actually, did he sing that song? What part was he in? Wasn't he in? Oh, no, he was in the end, right? Didn't she?
I think he
meet him
came at the end. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Sorry, that was just Daddy Warbucks. But our next time, we're going to be judged at the Daddy Warbucks.
The Daddy Warbucks Memorial Park of Fashion.
Tom Colicchio is an honorary member just because he also looks like a thumb.
Yeah, but this episode definitely felt like it was never intended, or it felt rushed or something. Brandon spent half the time talking about how he had to like pull himself out of bed to come into the city.
Brandon
he clearly was not
so
scheduled.
mad about having to get out of bed. I've never heard a judge say that before.
I know.
Y'all, so glad I got out of bed for this. I was like, are you busy? I'm sorry. Are you too busy to do your national television show that you were hired to do?
I'm sorry, Brandon Maxwell. Maybe you have some coffee from your house that's branded. Do you see what I'm saying there?
Franklin D. Roosevelt coffee.
Anyway, so we're in the Project Runway version of the stew room because the last episode just ended. Everyone's just sort of sitting there and they're having that moment with like, wow, it's getting real now, which is funny because they say that like literally after every competition, like after every elimination, like it'll be like
It's
the first
really
episode.
getting real.
It's really getting real now.
God, it's
man.
real now. It's really
So
real
real.
now. So Christian comes in and he's like, hi, all right, I'll keep it brief because Brandon had to get out of bed for this. So I guess we need to wrap this up. But the seven of you are the best of the what's left, basically. And for your next challenge, it's a PR first. You've earned the right to just do whatever you want. Okay, we were going to make it a Ziploc bag challenge, but honestly, we're out of budget. So just do whatever.
Yeah, we
don't care.
Unfortunately, Sue, who designs these challenges, she got hit by a cab. So we just are going to say, make whatever you want and just like hope for the best for Sue. Okay, great. Good luck, guys.
It's about freedom because now you have the total freedom to make what you want. And you get one step closer to the finale, which is going to take place in a country where there's freedom. I'm just going to say freedom a lot in this episode, and then we can all be proud of America and just keep moving it along. Okay? Freedom! Yay, freedom!
Freedom's just another word for nothing left to sew. Okay?
Oh, good.
So guess what?
Bray
It's a
goes,
2-day challenge.
I'm sorry. He goes,
2 days
it's going
of
to be
freedom.
he goes, it's going to be quite a challenge. Lots of freedom. And Brittany goes, double-edged sword for sure. For sure.
No, we would prefer you don't accessorize with a sword.
Thanks, Brittany. Glad Brittany got something in there. Double-edged sword for sure. Mm-hmm. You could do sportswear, or you could do some kind of sportswear. Double-edged. Kill you either way. Either way, you're dead.
And they're all like excited. And Christian's like, okay, can you all sit down, please? Thanks. Because literally my time does mean money because I have Uma Thurman waiting for me. So you have total freedom. And you can make whatever you want to get you one step closer to the finale or one step closer to, as I like to call it, Rami's circle of looking in on a finale and not being part of it.
So in honor of freedom, which is your challenge, you are free, dummies, to show one of the most beautiful sought-after locations in the city, Franklin D. Roosevelt Park. Okay, you can have a variety of models. You can have extra models there. They're all free. Don't worry. None of them are being forced to be here. They're all free models, which is great. Bishmi, you get the first pick as the last winner. Please move faster. You're moving too slow. Bishmi, could you please come up faster? Bishmi, you're very slow. Bishmi, I need you up here right now. Because Bishmi's just like, okay.
Well, I guess I'll pick a model. Okay, Bishmi, we're gonna need you to. Okay, free Free also means fast, okay? Because the slower you are, the less freedom that you have, okay? So go free. So everyone picks models. They all choose. It's all very nice and civilized. And now it's the next morning. And everyone's
Bishmi
waking.
steals a plant, which is the second time that's happened on Bravo this week. Whatever. Or
I didn't
within
even
a
notice that. I didn't see
Yeah,
Bishmi
he stole a plant. And they're like, why are you stealing the plant? And he's like, because I really like plants. And he takes the plant. What was the other show someone stole a plant this week?
That fucker Luke on Below Deck Down Under took a plant from the club before he tried to sexually assault his cast member.
Well, that's a big plant stealing week.
Yeah.
Let's hope it ends. Let's hope the similarities end there. Okay.
Yeah, that would be. Let's not have that storyline again.
No, we don't need to repeat that one. Okay, so it's 6:30 a.m. and Kato comes out and she's like, he's ready to be free. And Kara-san's like, yeah, to be here is to do a challenge with the three of us as sisters is dope. And Kato's like, yeah, it's definitely the sister circle.
Quad is like, am I allowed to be part of this?
Quad's like, this is literally based on my television show, The Sister Circle.
I'm back. What you're not gonna do is keep me out of the secret sister circle. So then, and then they're just talking about freedom, and Kato's like, she's like, yeah, freedom is free to being who I am, and like to do what I want to do, and go where I want to go. I believe that Richard Marx put it best in his seminal song, I do whatever I want, wherever I want, with no expectations. Thank you. OC Reels. All credit goes to the OC Reels.
So then we go over to Rami, Bishmi, and Prajay, and Brittany. And Rami's like, what do you guys think of the challenge? How do you feel about this challenge being about freedom? And Bishmi's like, it's dope. Because to be gay, especially where I'm from, that was really hard. So I like being a fashion designer because it's like celebrating freedom.
And Prajay is like, well, not to bring anything down, but I kind of like doing it. So, they're like, I grew up seeing like dead bodies in the street, and like I had a gun held to my head. So freedom is, I guess, not having those things. So I just want to say to everyone that like, I know everyone's gone through a lot of shit, but my shit's just like a little worse. So just putting that out there.
And Brittany's like, for me, freedom is being on a bicycle and going really fast, but not ever going anywhere, except in your mind and with whatever instructor you've chosen for that day.
Freedom is the ability to stay in your saddle even when Emma Lovewell is up in position 2. That's freedom.
And Rami's like, these are really sobering moments that we're having because we get to be more open with each other and we get to understand who we are and how we became who we are today. I'm like, oh, would you just go sew a fucking dress? Like, can we all just, like, for one day not roll around in just the pain of it all? Just go sew something, for fuck's sake, man. It's Project Runway.
Well, I like that Brittany is like so over this. She comes over with a bunch of pens. She goes, well, here's some pens to sketch. You have the freedom to choose whichever color you want, you fuckers. By the way, I feel like I can't believe I forgot to mention this. Did I mention this on the show? But I took my first sewing class this week.
I don't think you did say on the show. How did it go?
Well, it's very exciting. I'm in a 4-week program. As in, it's like just 4 classes. It's every Tuesday night. And it's at this, it's a place here in Los Angeles. And over the course of the 4 weeks, I am going to learn how to sew some pajama bottoms. And I'm like really excited. So on the first class, at first I was like, am I really doing this? Did I really sign up for sewing class? Like what? This is crazy.
It is weird. What took you to that?
Because I went to this place with my friend Sylvia is really into knitting and she's got into sewing, and so so my friend Judy and I went with Sylvia to this place because Sylvia wanted to pick out some fabric, and then we're just all going to go to lunch. And when we were walking around, there's all these cute prints, and I started, Judy and I were talking about like, wouldn't it be fun just to be able to like sew something for yourself? Look at all these cool fabrics. It'd be fun to have a shirt in some of these fabrics. And then we saw they were offering sewing classes. And we said, let's throw caution to the wind. Let's take a sewing class. So in the first class, we learned about like things like cutting on the bias and things like that. And then we we were given forms, pajama pant forms, and we had to cut out, it's like tissue paper, and we had to cut out the forms, and we learned about making adjustments. But we haven't actually sewn anything. But I did learn about my bobbin. I got my thread on my bobbin, which is the thing on the sewing machine. And so the next step, I think, is we're cutting fabric in the next class. I'm like really excited.
Nice.
So, and the entire time I was like, as I put this thread on this bobbin, I am feeling the freedom of making my own choices with my hobbies.
Yeah. I used to recap this over at TV Gasm and then Trash Talk TV later. I used to do really long written recaps of Project Runway. And every season I would sew. I got a sewing machine. I would whip out my sewing machine. I sewed my duvets, all my pillows in my home. Did you know me during that period?
Yeah, of course.
I didn't sew clothes, but I sewed curtains and all sorts of shit like that. This is the first time we've talked about it, that like doing it on this show, I haven't been like that. But I used to do it during written recap. It's like whenever Top Chef's on, I just cook every day.
Yeah.
It's in my head.
My hope is that after I do pajama pants, I know that the people who sew are like, I can't believe it's taking you 4 weeks to do pajama pants, but like literally it's going to take me 4 weeks.
It's hard.
There's stuff.
It's hard, yeah.
But then hopefully the next class, the next level class is making your own shirt. And I'm excited for that because I just want to be able to tailor my shit, like do my own stuff.
Yeah.
So it's a journey. I mean, I could be the next Rami. Who knows?
My God. Like freedom. You know what I mean?
I'm just going to drape stuff.
Okay, so they go to Mood, and Christian's like, hi, guys, did you get sleep? Brandon's sleeping right now. He's at home. He doesn't want to get out of bed, so don't ask. Okay, but today's challenge is about freedom. Okay, some of you are free to just be as mediocre as you are, and some of us are free to open stores in Connecticut, which I just did. So just don't lose who you are unless who you are is a loser, which you should probably try to lose. No offense, Rami, but I am talking to you.
Yeah, don't forget who you are. So in the case of Rami, that's someone who just never won Project Runway or any other show. Okay, you guys have a $750 budget, which is just a fraction of the amount of money I earn having won this show. So congratulations, go shopping, bye.
So Rami's like, I think I want to do an evening gown. You don't say, really? I'm shocked. We're all shocked, Rami. And he's like, as a Palestinian, freedom is big for me because it's something we're deprived of. So I want to do a light silky fabric, and I'm envisioning Oscar-worthy because of freedom. It's like, okay.
My Palestinian struggle is being represented in this beautiful gown for the Oscars. So Christian's like, okay, well, I think you should make the most insane thing you've ever made. Just like fuck them up. Got it. A very, very elegant evening dress. A refined, understated gown. Yes,
it's
I
like
will
a
fuck
reality
them up.
show staple, right? Especially on cooking shows, where they're like, you can't just cook. I mean, I used to love covering Food Network Star because they would always get on them like, but what's your story about the grilled cheese? Well, you're making the grilled cheese because I like the grilled cheese. No. Who taught you how to make grilled cheese? My mama. Why did your mama teach you how? It was the easiest thing to make. She could make it with Velveeta and old bread. It would have mold all over. Okay, you're getting closer, but we need more of a dramatic story. I think Project Runway just takes it to this crazy level where everything just has to be literal trauma or you can't make your evening gown. It's like, why are you making this evening gown? I had a sad childhood. No, yeah, I need more than a sad childhood. I lost my leg and then had to get it sewn back on. That's sad, but we've heard that before, actually. Palestine. I love it. Okay, Palestine. You can make it.
So Christian goes up to Kara's song, just, baby blue feathers, where do they go? And pink, my brain is about to explode with disgust that this is how I'm spending my afternoon. And Kara, she's like, well, I just, I want to be whimsical. I want to do a fairy tale. Great. This is Project Runway, though, not Project Golden, like Yellow Brick Road. So, yeah, good luck with that.
He's like, so this is going to be very Easter. It's looking very Easter. We're going to hide eggs. Hopefully Rami can find some of those because that's probably all he's going to win in this season. So that would be good. She's like, no, I'm just going to go no holds barred. He's like, okay, so you're just not going to listen to me as usual, huh? She's like, nope, sure not. He's like, okay, I don't know what's happening. So then he goes over to Bishme. And Bishme's like, you said we could do anything, right? And he goes, yeah, but what is this? And he said, you said we could do anything. Keep up. And he goes, okay, so I'm just going to get zero respect. So,
I'm going to make a gown, and I want him to like a ruffle bottom and like a jacket with a hat that has a free-flowing feel to it. Okay, and so does that, the free flow, is that a reference to the 2004 tsunami? I'm going to need something really heartbreaking and like terrible to associate this with, please.
So then he goes to Laurence, and he goes, he's like, Laurence, I'll meet you in leather because I know you're down here. Black again, Laurence. Could you do as a color? Maybe do a cool color. Do something cool. Come on,
She's
Laurence.
Like, die. But she pulls a purple leather, and she's like, it's so soft. I have to have it. And Christian goes, okay, so who are we missing? It's time to check out. Who are we missing? Rami, okay. I mean, obviously, when I say missing, I'm clearly not referencing a list of winners of this show. Like, he's definitely not missing there.
So back to the workroom. I love that everything that Kato wears has words on it. I don't know why that cracks me up. I just love that that's her thing. She's like, I will not wear a shirt that doesn't say something, literally.
Yeah, and then Brittany's like, this challenge is exciting, but it's extremely terrifying. It's like getting your foot stuck on a Peloton. You fall off and hit your head. The bike falls on your leg, too. Terrifying, okay? Or just watching Cody Rigsby try to do a second season of Lol Cody. Don't want to see that one again. It was not good.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say that freedom is without guidance can be your downfall. That's all. Just
So Prajay is like, this time I want to focus on one of the voodoo spirits called Dambala. I was like, yes! Now there's something I can get behind. Bring some voodoo shit in here. Hell yes.
well,
Based on a snake goddess.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm down for this.
yeah, I mean, I think it's cool. I love the idea of like a big snaky inspired green dress. That's fun.
Yeah, me too.
What we got was maybe not that snaky, but that's fine. We'll get there. So he's like, when God created heaven and earth, he actually uses Don Bala's bones as a snake to create the cosmos. And I'm going to make a dress. So
I was just cracking up.
That will
To
be
me-
represented in a dress that looks like it's from an old saloon.
Yes. I mean, just that story is like, yes, please say that whole story to Nina. Like, this is what happened. God made heaven, earth, took the bones of the dead people and created Saturn. And this is where you get a crop top. I'm like, yes, Prajay.
Commercials. Here comes one right now.
If you're hiring, you know it's incredibly hard to attract top talent. And with the current labor market conditions, it's even harder than ever. That's why you want a partner who gets it. ZipRecruiter.
You know who knows how tough it is right now? ZipRecruiter does. But guess what? They figured out solutions for the problems that you're facing.
See for yourself. Right now, you can try them for free at ZipRecruiter.com/crappens.
ZipRecruiter is ready to tackle your recruiting challenges.
Yeah, to reach more of the right people, ZipRecruiter posts your job to over 100 job sites.
And listen, the pricing at ZipRecruiter is straightforward. There are no surprise costs.
Yeah, want first dibs on talent? ZipRecruiter lets you invite the most qualified people to apply for your job.
Team up with a hiring partner who understands what you need. ZipRecruiter.
4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day.
Just go to this exclusive web address to try ZipRecruiter for free. ZipRecruiter.com/crappens.
Again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/crappens.
ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
Hi, I'm Lindsey Graham, the host of Wondery's podcast, American Scandal. We bring to life some of the biggest controversies in U.S. history, events that have shaped who we are as a country and that continue to define the American experience. American Scandal tells marquee stories about American politics, like the break-in at the Watergate Hotel, an event that led to the downfall of a president and raised questions about the future of American democracy. We go behind the scenes looking at devastating financial crimes, like the fraud committed at Enron and Bernie Madoff's Ponzi scheme. And we tell stories of complicated public figures like Edward Snowden and Monica Lewinsky, people who found themselves thrust into the spotlight and who spurred debates about the future of the country. Follow American Scandal wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen ad-free on the Amazon Music or Wondery app.
Christian walks. He's like, "Hey, everybody! The producer said I have to come interrupt because you all are talking lots of bullshit in here. So, how's everyone doing? How's it feel to be free? As in, everything you've made has wound up basically free in a bargain bin somewhere. Especially Rami. Hey, Rami, what's going on, non-winner?"
So he's checking with So he goes over to Karasan and he's like, "So is that an actual drape on the form? Wow, you've actually got something to show me today. What a concept. That is amazing. Okay, what are you going for?" And she's like, "Well, I'm going for like fashion fairy godmother because I have a nonprofit that helps foster kids and teaches them to write and perform in their short films." And he's like, I'm really conflicted because this outfit is giving me horrible and awful, but your story is giving me best you've ever given. So not really sure what to tell you with this one. Okay.
I mean, I don't understand how fashion fairy godmother connects to teaching children how to make short films, unless the short films are about fashion. But then, like, are we celebrating their fashion department, their costume department in their films? Don't really understand your charity, like that you have one, and I don't understand how this Easter mess plays into it. So good luck.
Yeah, he's not really affected by that at all, but I am because it's actually nice. So she had a really good life growing up. She tells us that her parents basically built a cocoon for them. Like growing up in the time she grew up, it shouldn't have been as sunny as it was, but that her parents built this like cocoon for the family and didn't like they shielded them from a lot of the shit going on in the world. And so she grew up with a lot of self-confidence and she just had a really happy life. So she's spreading that to foster kids. Oh, I thought that was really sweet.
It's nice. Very nice.
So then he goes... So he's telling her, "Listen, you're making something really soft and romantic, but you're using all these feathers. And are you sure this isn't going to be a bridesmaid's dress you wouldn't want to make your friend wear?" And she's like, "But it's supposed to be huge and sculptural." He's like, "Okay." And she's like, "But you asked us to do ourselves, and there is a market for what I do. And this is what I'm doing with my freedom." And he's like, "Okay, you convinced me. You didn't convince me at all. You're going to go home, stupid."
You convinced me that you never should have been on the show. Got it. Bye. So then he goes over to Laurence and he's like, "Oh, well, this is a very tailored piece. What are you going to do? Let me guess. Leather jacket with a leather bottom, right?" And she's like, "Yes. Tailored jacket into a skirt." Okay, great. All right. So she's going to do like a leather jacket with strong shoulders and the bottom's going to be purple. And the top is going to be black, and she wants to create a leather panty of some sort.
So then he goes to Prajay, and Prajay's like, "Do you have an appointment?" "No? Then you cannot talk to Goddess Nambala, the snake." So he's like, "Okay, so you picked green because of a snake, so it's a garden snake? Okay, so it's a snake, but then it's a big fitted dropped waist? I'm not really sure what's happening here. You're supposed when I do this, you're supposed to finish the sentence because I'm confused."
So does this mean that the mom from Titanic was referencing a voodoo goddess all this time? Because I'm sort of getting like turn of the century look from this. No. Okay.
And Prajay's like, "Look, the whole sweat and puffer thing, I've done it. I've done it on Project Runway. I don't need to do it every time. So this is going to be a moment for me." And he's like, "Well, they're definitely going to be shocked. They're going to definitely be shocked." And he goes, "Yeah, it's like my reintroduction to the judges."
And he basically is saying like, you know, he's done whatever. You're always going to get fashion with whatever he does, you know, whether it's streetwear or high couture. And like he started his business by making gowns, and like this is the most me thing he's ever done. Christian's like, "Okay, Bishmi, what are you making?" And Bishmi is I'm making a big volume skirt, like a cool jacket. I'm gonna do a jacket and like a visor with like flowy fabric. "Okay, Bishmi, I'm gonna need you to sort of perk up some of that energy a little bit, okay?" But
it's gonna be Sister Act. I'm going to do Sister Act. He's like, "Oh, got it. Love that movie. Whoopi Goldberg. Amazing. Second only to Ghost. Am I right?" "Okay, great." He's doing a baseball cap, but with like a habit train on it, which in sketch form looks insane and hilarious. And I just kept thinking of choreographing Sister Act in junior high. Sorry, I just had to drop that in there. Let everybody be impressed with that for a moment. And we can move on to Cattell.
So now, checks in on Kato, and Kato's she's gonna make the most amazing robe she's ever made, and this challenge means a lot to her. Because she's, as an African, as an immigrant, as a newfound American, fighting for freedom in regular lives. It's very emotional for her. And so she wants to incorporate leather into sleeves because that's going to represent shackles. And the shackles are going to get bigger and bigger as the hand grows stronger, but they're not going to be connected. They're going to be completely free. And Christian's like, okay, cool. 4 more hours. 4 more hours, everyone. Bye.
So then Projet is looking at Brittany. He's just giving Brittany this kind of look as she works. And then he goes over to Kato and he's like, I'm coming to visit the East Coast. And she's like, this is the Midwest here. So he goes over and he starts writing her a note on a notebook. And she tells us that he was writing very eagerly. And basically it says there's a lot of plagiarism going on. And he tells us, I see Brittany and I instantly see my top from the 90s challenge. And they put it up there and she's making the exact same thing. It's not like, oh, it's close. It's like, oh, okay, well, it's maybe like a similar top, but she's also doing activewear. So maybe it's literally the same exact thing.
Yeah, it's the same. And I don't know fashion well enough to know if that's just like a common look. That's like a standard thing that people do. But it looks
even if
exactly
it is,
the
it's
same.
literally exactly the same.
It's the exact same. And it's also the high-waisted pants. So it's like, huh. So now it's 3 hours until the end of the day. And Projet is like not happy. He's definitely grumbling. He's like, I feel like I'm on an episode of Bitch Stole My Look. This goddess Dambala's like, how do you think I feel? Okay. And then she's like, you're turning me into a dress? Hell no, I'm a goddess. So then and then he's like, I do think Brittany is living in her own world, like not being aware that these looks might be very similar to looks like that people have like worked these walls or something like that. He's basically like, she's like totally not realizing that she's stealing.
And it's the pants too, because then we see the pants, and the pants are at least a little different because they have a bunch of cargo pockets or whatever, but it's basically the same high-waisted like 90s pant, right? So they're basically he's getting annoyed, but he doesn't think she's doing it on purpose. And Karasan's like, listen, don't even say anything because it's blatantly obvious. So you don't need to say it because everyone else will figure this out. Like, it's not something you need to worry about. But they don't. Spoiler alert. The judges never notice, which is crazy. I mean, they're exactly the same.
Yeah. So models arrive and they're fitting stuff on everything. And then Rami's talking to Mimi, his model, and she's like, oh, where are you from? And he's like,
really, Mimi? Really? Really, Mimi? Really?
He's like, oh, well, since you asked, I was born in Jerusalem, then lived in Palestine, but I've been here for the past 10 years. And this is a big sentimental challenge for me because it's literally about the Palestinian dream, which is freedom. And I started sketching when I was 7 years old during curfews and lockdowns. I said, as long as I'm stuck in here, God damn it, I'm going to make an Oscar gown. And that's what I did.
And he's so cute. Like, they show him as a little kid being all smartly dressed. And I love that he was just like, fine, you're going to put me in lockdowns? I will make a gown. I was like, yes, that's my kind of kid. Yes, that's fabulous. So then then we go to Projet and he's putting a snake on a model's head. And he's like, it's a risk. I was like, yep. So then Karasan's working with her feather sleeves, and honestly, not trusting Karasan's look. I'm getting a little scared for her. It's pink and purpley and feathery and capey and not looking great.
It's a lot.
It's not looking good.
And then a model asks Laurence about her accent, and Laurence tells us, I think I'm a pretty private person. I keep a lot of shit in because it's my business. From 16 to 20, I went from being a kid to a freaking adult, and I did not live my teenage years because I had the kid. And I guess that's why part of me fell out of place. And I not want to ever share my personal life, but I've always walked my head held high no matter what I'm carrying. So again, I just want to summarize. I don't share a lot about my personal life. And I am proving that by telling you a bit about my personal life. That from 16 to 20, I didn't really have teenage years because I had a child. And did I say that part already?
Can we stop talking now? Because I really have something to say. I'm like, okay, you did it. Good job. Thank you.
We got it out of you.
I feel like every time they ask her, she's like, oh my God, more? They're like, yes, more trauma, please. Like, okay. But it wasn't enough. No, there wasn't enough last time. Like, please just do it already.
Just tell us the story again. From 16 to 20, you had no teenage years. We want more of it.
So then we go to Brittany, who is just like, I mean, literally in the middle of all this depth. You know what I mean? Then you've got Brittany, who's just over there like, I'm designed for Peloton people. So we go to Brittany, and she's just, you see Prajay behind her watching her, just not pleased, right? And so she's completely oblivious. She's kind of a dodo bird. And her model's like, oh my God, I love this. This is just like so me. I feel like so cute in this. And she's like, yeah, it's just so awesome. And the jacket's just like so open. It's just like going to be altered. It's going to be amazing. And
Prajay's like,
they just cut to Prajay like,
he's really wanting a voodoo doll at this moment. So Bishme he's saying that his dress is representation for him because brown is beautiful and it doesn't get used in an elegant way. And this is his first time being able to use brown.
Thank you. I agree with you. I think brown has more of a place in this world. I love brown. It's my favorite color. I have so many brown things. Yeah, love it. Always in brown.
So Laurence doesn't like Karasan's look. She thinks it's too busy. And Prajay's just like watching Brittany, just like disgusted. But he's like, no, I do love Brittany's look. I love the colors. You know, I love the freshness of the sportswear. You know, love the look. But mine was better.
Yeah.
Bitch.
So now it's time to go. And let's see. So Bishmi's like, does everyone have a lot left to do? And they're like, yeah. And Prajay's like, so Karasan, do you have enough ostrich or do you need me to kill another one for you? So now they go back to the workroom and Brittany's like, y'all got to start my jacket. And they just basically get to work.
Just sewing. Yeah. And Karasan's all about, she's been working on this jacket the entire time. She hasn't even made the dress. She just like she's like, I gotta finish this jacket so I can she's gonna make like a very simple little dress to put on. But she's like, it doesn't even matter because the jacket's gonna be closed the entire time anyway.
Oh no, it's not. Of course they're gonna ask to take off the jacket. Of course they are. You're on Project Runway. Come on, you're on the first season ever. You know how this works. This was frustrating to watch, but the Prajay and Bishmi stuff was so funny. So they start imitating. They start imitating Christian. So they're sitting there sewing together, and who starts it? Prajay. He goes, do you love it? And he goes, yeah, I think I do. Is it cool though? Do you really think it's cool? He's like, yeah, I mean, I think it's really cool. But is it great? Do you really think it's great? Yeah, I think it's great. Do you mean it? Do you really think it's great? Do you love it? Are you sure? It's like, yes, I fucking love it. Dead, because that is what he does. Are you sure? This is great. You want this color? You like that color? You like the feathers? You really think the feathers are going well? Great. That's what you wanted? Okay.
So Bishmi starts making like a pleather jacket, and he's like doing something to it to make it look like aged leather. And he also says, no more exaggerated shoulders because I want to show the judges that I'm taking in what they're saying. And then we see a montage of the Mickey Mouse ears that you're always talking about.
No,
with the big
so
shoulders.
Sad. I kind of miss them. Make fun of them a lot, but I kind of miss them, you know,
Prajay brought them along this week.
He did. Yeah, I noticed that. And Bishmi also did use some. He used like a version. You know, it's like an updated It's like an updated model of a car. They're like, oh, the new Lexus NX. It just has a flat grill now. And you're like, wow, it's totally different. I'm gonna get it. It's like that. It's like kind of a big shoulder, but it's like toned down Mickey Mouse ears.
Yeah.
It's like, ooh, so refined.
So Christian walks in and he's like, hi, everybody. Guess it's show day. All right. Who wants a model? Probably the last model Rami will ever need before he goes back to working at Best Buy. Okay. All right. Everyone, models are in.
All right, let's start with Karasan. Karasan, wow. So there's a lot going on there. Okay, what's with that? Is that a skirt? And she's like, it's just simple beaded. And the cape? Do you need the cape? You sure about the cape? Is she going to fly somewhere? Is that Superman? Is going to save somebody? Is kidnap a tree? Or is she going to stop a rocket with her bare hand? Who knows? Superman can do a lot of things. Is that what she needs? Cape? You sure? You sure?
Yeah. Do you need Cape Winslet? Do we need that? And she's like, yeah, I need it. She goes,
Are
okay,
we sure that's not
okay.
a little Cape Fear? You gonna bite off somebody's cheek? Is that really what we're going for?
All right, Kate Middleton. Good luck with you. It's not going to work out well. Okay.
And she doesn't listen to him, to her detriment, because he is absolutely correct. I get, like, he says a lot, you know, and he gets he's much bitchier than Tim, you know?
Right.
But he is right. Like, he's not wrong all that much, right? He seems to be correct a lot of the time. And they just are like, fuck off, dude. No.
He's like a working fashion designer who is working at a very high level. And they're like, I don't know. I think I'm going to keep this cape that someone who is very well established and successful in fashion tells me I shouldn't keep on. I'm going to keep it because it's me.
Because he's like blatantly mortified. Like he's just like, he's not just giving you a piece of advice like you could take it or you could leave it. He's like, I'm warning you, they're gonna hate this. This is terrible. Do something, you know.
You don't need a cape if you've got feathers. Okay, the feathers if you're gonna be flying, you're either flying like Superman or you're flying like a bird. Okay, they say it's a bird. Is it a bird? Is it a plane? It's Superman. They don't say it's a bird and it's Superman. Okay, it's not feathers and cape.
It's not. Sorry, it's not a bird and a plane and Superman. Okay.
You choose one, okay? It's a bird. It's a plane. It's a bird and a plane and a superhero. It's everything included.
And he's like, okay, well, I'm just saying it looks like you're adding it to add it, and that's a lot of luck. And she goes, well, I hope so, because that's my signature. He's like, okay, the sleeve is cool. I like the sleeve. Are you going to put tags in the back that say KS? Because that would be cool. I would love that. Okay, bye.
I like that there's a button. I'm just trying to find something to be nice about. So Christian then goes up to Prajay and he goes, are you beating too? And he's like, just the edge of the sleeve. He goes, really? He's like, don't really me. It's cute.
Not going to listen again. So then Christian goes to Bishmi and he's like, what is this? And Bishmi's like, the outfit. You said do what you want. And he's like, you're not just showing a pair of underwear. Like, seriously? Is this all you're going to show? It's a pair of underwear? That's it? It's just a pair of underwear on a lady? Are we sure? Is it a lady? Is it underwear? Is it panties? Are we sure that's what we're going to do?
Could someone help me reboot Christian? I think I broke him. He's like, you're lying. Where's the rest? The rest is somewhere. And he's like, I didn't have time. Okay, no, I know you're fucking with me, and I don't appreciate it whatsoever. I'm gonna find this outfit because I know you had fabric. I saw it yesterday. So Christian starts walking around trying to find it, but she's like, you're not gonna find anything. But he's like, I love
messing with Christian because he low-key stresses me out sometimes. And if you're gonna stress me out, I'm gonna stress you out too then.
So then we go to hair and makeup, and the lady's like, okay, here's what we're going to do. We're celebrating freedom today, so we're going to celebrate freedom with White Rain's conditioner that frees your curls to be whatever they want to be. I was like, okay, guys, can we not?
We are going, not only are we celebrating freedom, we're going to brand it with Tresemme. Congratulations. You have the freedom to use Tresemme. Freedom. I don't want your Tresemme freedom. I don't want to carry on. I don't want no part-time hair care. Full-time locks are what I'm about.
Oh my God. She's just like Freedom Mousse by L'Oreal. It's like, oh God. Okay, so then Christian is like, Brittany, press your pants. Don't listen to me. What do I know? Just have a store in Connecticut. Okay, I want to see something on a body, preferably not on a bicycle. Can we get the model away from the bicycle? Are we really going to stick with we're not sticking with bicycle, are we? Okay.
Brittany's like, it's going to get crumpled up regardless. It's like, okay, all right. Sounds like someone had a little bit too long of a Power Zone endurance ride today. Don't listen to me. I know nothing.
Commercials. Here comes one right now.
So Laurence's model, the skirt is too tight. She can't even walk on it. And he's like, what are we going to do with this? She can't walk. We're going to cut a vent in the back. What else are you going to do? We going to do this because she can't walk on it? And she's like, I'm going to add a panel. I'll have time. He's like, you have 15 minutes. And so she actually does it. She like runs off and gets it done. She's a badass.
I didn't miss from age 16 to 20 in my teenage years to not make a panel. Okay, you've told us that story a few times. We got it. So
my baby came out and she was in a ball gown already. That's how fast I sewed it.
My baby was a panel. So So Christian goes up to Kato and it's like, wow, those pants are cool. And she goes like, oh, I finally got a cool from Christian. I'm going to give myself a clap of hands. I'm finally in the cool club. Don't push it, Kato.
So it's like, do not put a necklace on that. I'm going to kill you. And she just stops and looks at him like, you little fucker. Let's go to the Franklin D. Roosevelt Park for Freedom, where freedom is freedom and Roosevelts are free. Okay, everybody, let's go. Brittany's like, oh my God, are we going to do this even if it rains? It's going to rain. Is it raining out here? It's going to be raining. Brittany, like, is one of those people that posts about weather on Instagram. You just fucking know, or on Twitter. Like, did everybody just feel that?
Yeah, don't have her move to Los Angeles. Was that an earthquake? She's the person.
Raining, y'all? Is it still raining outside in your part of town?
She thinks fireworks is gunfire. She's that person on your ring alert that says, "Did anyone just hear that? I think I just heard 5 gunshots and a flash of light in the sky. I think it was a gun. I think it was a gun battle."
So they get to the park, and it is, in fact, raining, and it's 10 minutes till showtime, and they're going to make them do it. Like, what is the park paying you to do this? Why are you doing this in the fucking rain in the park? This is not cool. This is stupid. It looks terrible, and it's windy. The clothes are blowing everywhere.
Christian goes, wow, you see everything outside, don't you? With the natural light, you really see it all, and makes me wonder why we ever brought these people back. I mean, this shit looks terrible. Get out of my sight. So Christian's like, okay, so if the models have to walk in an umbrella, like maybe that's like a vibe. Like maybe that like works with it, right? Right? And they're all like, fuck you, Christian.
Yeah, this show needs to be a little more flexible. I mean, having people cook in the rain is one thing on Top Chef because that's like an extra challenge. But we've already seen them sew. You want to see what their clothes look like. You can't tell when they're blowing all over their faces.
Well, if Taylor Swift can sing in the rain, then these models can walk in the rain. Okay? So Rami's like, he's like, all I'm visualizing now is raindrops having the freedom to stay in my silk. So they all sort of like get under a tent. And then now it's time for the runway show. And now it's like nighttime. So it's like raining, it's nighttime, and they have like 2 flashlights out. So you can barely see anything as it comes down the runway.
And Elaine's like, hi, designers. Welcome to the Franklin D. Roosevelt for Freedom State Park of Freedom being free. We thought this would be a perfect place to showcase your pain and your trauma. Also, it's nice to have Christian with us. We're just going to keep it in the family today because apparently nobody shows up to gigs when it's raining in New York. So our guest judge dropped out. Okay, Kylie Minogue, suddenly too busy. So yeah, here we are. Yeah.
Kylie Minogue said she had to go to the Olive Garden in Times Square, which we felt was a little bit of a snub. But anyway, we've got Christian, so this is great. How epic is this, guys, though? Look at this rain. How epic is this? I mean, us, judges getting to sit under nice big umbrellas, and you guys all sitting on a bench getting rained on. How epic is this, right?
So, Christian, we are honored to have you with us on the Pain Outside Challenge. Christian, do you want to share any of your pain with the people? He's like, I have to drive to Connecticut after this, so ouch. It's like, ow, Christian. That was traumatic. All right, let's get it started.
So we start off with Kato's, which I thought looked great. I love the robe. I love the pants. I thought it was a very smart looking outfit. I loved it.
It was boring.
Yeah.
I thought it was boring.
But
the thing is, I could barely see robe thing, which she says, she's like, you give me freedom, I'm going to make a robe. Like, she loves making that's her signature style, but I think I've just seen it a million times. And then it was just over very simple black pants and a black turtleneck sweater, I think, something like that. I don't know. I was like, you could do
I have
anything. This is kind of.
I also
boring.
felt like I really couldn't see much. Like I felt like the lighting was not good because it was like not enough lighting. It wasn't like studio lighting, and on top of that, it was like nighttime and it was raining. So I was like, this looks good. I think I don't know. So then Project is next, and I was like, I feel like there's some things I like about it, but it looked very old time. It looked like old Western saloon to me. Big
Yeah, it was
puffy
like
shoulders.
it was like a futuristic take on an old saloon because
Yeah.
it was a kind of a pretty flowy see-through skirt, but then it had this like tighter waist at the top, but didn't look like tight enough. Like it didn't look like it fit.
Yeah.
And then it was a kind of a crop top with big puffy sleeves, and this wasn't good. This is another week in a row. This is, I
3
think, the
weeks in a
third
row.
week in a row that it's been like not good for him. So I was like, for sure he's out.
Yeah,
For sure.
I thought it was. I didn't get Snake. I didn't get Snake Goddess whatsoever from her. And then Brandon's like, it's very great expectations, as in we have great expectations for these designers and they serve us this bullshit. So then Brittany's looks good. I like Brittany's, even though she totally ripped off Project. It's like I liked all the pockets on the pant, the bright pink. But yeah, she did steal Project's.
It looks good, but it's really weird that all the judges are like, wow. And Christian goes, right? Am I right? Amazing? Seriously? Wow. And I was like, wow, none of you recognize this? That challenge was just 3 weeks ago.
But I wonder if it's because the jacket was sort of zipped up a lot. So like the top was not a signature feature of the look. So
but
if
then
it had
she
been unzipped,
unzipped it and took it off. Didn't
yeah,
she
she
take
did
it
do-
off? I think she did.
maybe she did. I don't remember.
I don't know.
It is
but,
surprised they didn't catch it.
It's weird that like production didn't even say, guys, there's some drama about this being completely ripped off, and nobody's. I don't know.
Like
I
they'll
thought
tell-
it was weird.
They'll prompt Nina to say to Courtney last week, are you going to do the twerk off? But then they won't prompt her to say, did you notice there was some plagiarism?
Right. So then we get Karasan's. Okay, so she does this purple. I put purple, veiny, feathery cap lady. I don't know what that means because I remember the
Maybe
outfit.
the cape.
I remember. Oh, cape.
Maybe cape lady.
Yes, feathery cape lady. Okay,
It's
that
very
makes more
Monsters
sense.
Inc. It's very Monsters Inc. Like sort of big. I don't know. Like first of all, I didn't like the shoes that were with it, and then my issue was that I was looking at it. You have this big feathery jacket, but then the bottom, the skirt that was underneath it, from what we could see, sort of looked like a Real Housewives reunion look, right? Where it sort of has that figure skater mesh with like sparkly going
It
up the
did
legs.
look like a Nene Leaks. Yeah,
There's like
with
that
the mesh
designer.
and then I thought that part was pretty though.
Right, but I'm just saying that I didn't understand how it related to like the feathery jacket.
Yeah, the jacket was not good, and then that cape was terrible coming down the
Cape
back.
was too
and
much.
I wrote this isn't fair because it was windy, and so it didn't look. It looked terrible in the wind because it was flying. It was like literally flying everywhere, and I thought that was unfair to make it
But
show
it's a
in that.
jacket. It's a jacket, so it should be able to deal with the wind. should
Yeah,
look
but
good
on
in
a
the wind.
runway, I don't know. Like the cape part was like literally I don't know. It felt like an unfair representation of the outfit. But that said, even the judges did get to see it again during judging, and it was still bad. You know.
Yeah.
She should have listened to the advice and gotten rid of that. And Elaine's like, yeah, the cut on that jacket's really weird. So then we go to Rami's. I thought Rami's. I'll probably take shit for this. I thought Rami's looked like a fucking mess.
I didn't think
you?
it looked like a mess, but I thought it looked kind of boring, to be honest. It looked very pretty, but
The
boring.
sewing
I was
looked
like,
incorrect. He did this like block sewing across the waist. It was like curved, and it looked uneven to me. It looked a little janked up there to me. I don't know.
I mean, I didn't notice that. But I was like, this is pretty. It was nice, but I thought he was going to get dinged for being safe or a little staid. But actually, as it was going down the runway, all the judges were like, this is so beautiful. This is gorgeous. So, I was, one
Yeah, it
man's
was another
boring,
one of
it's
those where I was
another
like, I
lady's
know I'm not
gorgeous.
fashionable, but yeah, I just don't think it looks sewn right. It doesn't look sewn well. But then they were like, it's a brilliant. That was the most brilliantly sewn thing I've ever seen. And I was like, okay, well, I still suck at fashion. Apparently.
Yeah, exactly. And then Mimi was walking down with an umbrella, and then she like took the umbrella down, and they were like, she closed the umbrella. They like all lost their mind.
Because Mimi's such a drama queen. Every time she does, she stays too long and she's like too extra all the time. I think at this point they're just like laughing that Mimi's always so Mimi,
Yeah. So now Laurence is next. And so in this one, I actually did not love the purple bottom. So it was a black leather coat, jacket, and then there's like the purple dress. And I just didn't love it, but they loved it. Brandon was like, it's gorgeous.
She explained that she wanted to make a leather panty, but then she couldn't. So she made the leather panty as part of the dress. So it's like a panty shape sewn on to the top of the waist of the dress, and then it turns purple, and it looks like a dick. It looks like a big dick sewn onto
I didn't notice that. To me, I was like, to me, it looked like a panty.
Like, what is this? I didn't really understand what you're going for there. You sew a panty on top of the dress? I didn't get it. I mean, it was part of the dress, but it was just blocked to look like color blocked in the shape of a panty, and I was like, I don't really get the crotch rocket dress, but I loved the jacket part.
Well, she always make these amazing jackets,
right? But it was kind of the same jacket she made last time without the little spikes or whatever. But whatever.
And then we had Bishme's, and I love the movement on Bishme's. It was just like very flowy, like that sheer sort of veil was flowing in the wind. It looked wonderful, and I loved the way. I love the look of like the sort of like the ruffles around the ankles. Even though to me they looked a little heavy, it still was like really gorgeous, beautiful ruffles. It reminded me of like a Dove chocolate commercial, like when they show like the chocolate like rippling onto the melted chocolate rippling down in, and so I thought it was like really like very, very pretty.
I thought it was very pretty too. It was bonkers. It was extremely bonkers. It was like ruffles, but it was only like a foot of ruffles at the very bottom, and then it was sewn onto sheer. And then you saw the model's entire body, and then her panties, and then it was like something else. Yeah, it was really crazy.
Then a visor.
And then a visor with a nun cape coming down. I mean, it was like it was Looney Tunes, but it was really cool to see it.
It was really cool.
It was odd.
Yeah, the ruffles, like there's a certain breed of dog that like the dog has like ruffles like that. It sort of was giving me some of that too. But it like
a Shar-Pei?
It wasn't a Shar-Pei. It like won just like a few years ago, won like best dog ever. I'll look it up, but I don't know. It was like it was like a mishmash that like dared to actually work.
Winner of best dog ever. Bueller, the sleeping dog behind me, the best dog of all. You have been voted the best little man of all times, little face dog. Bueller, okay, so who's after? Oh God! I just moved my desktop thing on top of my computer keyboard, and then I just turned on iTunes, and now Adele's singing about how depressed she is. Oh God! Do you hear? Here we go.
I do.
Wait, actually, this is. I still have faith in you, Abba. Okay, sorry everybody. So Bishme. Oh, so he was the last one, and I wrote I love Bishme the best. Was you right?
Yeah, I think Bishme was my favorite.
That was cool.
I love the color. I like the color. I love the color choice. I love the ruffles. I love the
color, the ruffles.
Yeah, I really liked it a lot. So Elaine's like, designers, incredible work. I have to say, sitting here in this very dry area makes me appreciate your wonderful fashion. How are you guys doing over there? They're all just like rained on and like wet and rumpled.
I know. They're like, fuck you guys. That's how we are. Okay. And Brandon's like, well, I continue to be majorly blown away by you guys. I mean, that was work, getting out of bed, putting on my stretch jeans and concealer on to come down here, but it was worth it. It was worth it.
It was worth it to be able to sit in this very dry seat. I'm sure you guys can relate to that, right? No? It's a little wet over there.
So they go back to the regular runway and get them out of the rain, which is nice. And so they're like, so hello, designers. Everyone get warmed up and dried off. This is just getting more and more difficult. Now, I thought this was just outstanding demonstration of your point of views. Okay? Brittany and Cateau, you're both in. Nice job.
That was sort of funny to me because Cateau, like, she really gave such a thoughtful backstory to her look. You know, she's like, this is about being, being African, being an immigrant, looking for freedom. People don't have freedom. I have leather shackles. The shackles get bigger and stronger as your hand gets stronger on this and that. And, okay, great, you're in. Bye. Oh, okay.
Right, but they didn't hear the story. Right.
No, but it was just like a funny thing that she had all this story in her look, and they're like, yeah, okay, go backstage.
But that's kind of the thing. That's what bugs me in the reality. It's a reality trend. It's not really just this show. But like, there's like a leaning into it, which I get it, because you want to humanize people and learn their stories and learn where different people come from and stuff like that. But sometimes it becomes more about you're judging the story than the actual work. You know what I mean? Because you hear some of these stories and you're like, that is a beautiful, like the one you just said, Kato's. It's like, what a beautiful fucking reason to make pants and a sweater. You know what I mean? It's like, because when I saw it, I'm like, I thought it was boring, but your story's amazing. But it's like, you don't get judged on the story, you get judged on the clothes. That said, I thought the clothes were, okay, just kind of boring. But Brandon did say, but a bit safe. And Kato goes, that was safe? Okay.
She's like,
but she even said herself, like, you can't buy it at Target, but you asked me to make something and I'm going to make a robe every time. She even said that herself. So I'm like, why would you be shocked that they would call it safe?
She is very pissed too.
Yeah,
I think she thought she had the winning look, clearly, because she's like, the rest of the episode, she was like, called me safe. She's like, I'm designing for professional women who are CEOs. They go to galas. Fine, whatever.
But you're also on Project Runway, trying to make like the coolest thing on the runway. And if you're just going to make the same robe style thing every time, they're going to get bored. It's a reality show and it's not your first time here.
Brandon's like, okay, can we like start this? Because I like changed my hair and I put like, I put on a bigger sweater. It's like more roomier. So can we just like do this already? Because I have 3 episodes of Barefoot Contessa to watch at home. Okay.
So we start with Bishmi, who was one of the top looks, and Bishmi says he's in a place where he can finally identify with his masculine and his feminine and his love of baseball with the cap. And Elaine's like, where was this look when I got married? I mean, cool future take on bridal. The brown, I mean, it just read so beautifully against her skin. It was so smart to really elevate it all with a baseball cap veil.
I just want to say, single mother to single mother. I'm not a single mother. I know. I just wanted to remind everyone. And I shouldn't say single mother. I meant new mother. That's what I really meant to say. So then Elaine's like, yeah, she just loves it. And Bishmi's like, thank you. And he's like, you deliver fashion. You're on trend. And if you're not, you're making your trends. As an editor, this is what I'm looking for. The surprise element.
And Brandon's like, well, it was really hard for me to go out of my house in the rain, but I did it. And I'm glad I did. It's like, sir, are you being
an American
paid?
Hero.
Like, are you literally being paid for this? I can't with you. Call the manager, Brandon. Okay? Call the fucking manager.
What show were you binging that we interrupted? Because clearly you're upset right now. So, catching up on White Lotus. Okay? Very upset. So now let's look at a look that was less successful. So here comes Prajay's look.
And Prajay's like, again. And Brandon's like, this was different for you, Prajay. And he's like, yeah, well, I needed to introduce myself to you. And I wanted to go back to my season 19 avant-garde challenge. And, I think this season that side of me got lost. So this is Goddess Ambala, half female, half snake. And the idea is to wrap a woman in a snake. And he like goes through this whole thing. And Elaine's like, I appreciate you wanting to show a new side, but this doesn't even look like it fits. He's like, it's a snake. Yeah, it's not a well-fitting snake. I don't like it. Has the snake been through anything? It's a snake. But did the snake lose its job at a young age?
Is it a new mom? Is the snake a new mom? Did the snake just get married? The snake just got married. So Brandon's like, listen.
Has the snake ever had a flat on a freeway with a baby in the back? You know what I mean?
Has the snake seen just like a sad 10-minute video on YouTube recently? Anything? Come on. So Brandon's like, I appreciate that it's a woman dressed in a snake, but as a man who was formerly dressed in a comforter on his sofa, I have this to say. Like the puffy shoulders, with the brocade, with the boots, with the serpent in the hair, with the taking me away from my Netflix. It's just like too many things together.
I just wish the snake maybe could have been on the neck and not on the top. I mean, mostly I think the problem was the proportioning, unfortunately, Prajay. He's like, it looks like he's going to cry. I always feel bad when he looks like he's going to cry.
He's like, I'm on the bottom, but Brittany, who stole my look, gets to walk into that back room. He's like not happy.
Yes, because still nobody called that out. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And yeah.
Because that's what's going through his head. He's like, if I go home, but Brittany stole my look, there's going to be hell to pay.
Yeah.
So next up is Rami, and Rami's like, hello, I just want to put this out there. That's where I come from. As a Palestinian living under military occupation, we don't have freedom of movement. I'm unable to visit my birthplace, Jerusalem, and there are always obstacles and checkpoints in the way. And in this design, I wanted freedom of flow and freedom of movement. How about freedom to accept that you will never win this show? Thank you, Christian. Thank you, Christian, for that.
So
addition.
Brandon's like, this fabric is risky. It highlights the expert craftsmanship. I was like, oh, wow. They love this thing. And Nina's like, did you cut it on the bias? It's driving me insane. I saw Hollywood glamour. I was like, wow, they're really loving it. My God.
The cutting on the bias. Insane in the membrane. Insane got no bread. I love it. I love it so much. So Elaine's like, thank you, Christian Siriano, for bringing this man back, because this is stunning. As stunning as the time that I gave birth. I'm a new mom. Just want to remind everyone here.
Timeless, classic. I mean, the story there. I mean, checkpoints. You are definitely going to win this. I'm telling you right now, you are going to win this. And then they're like, bye, Mimi. And Mimi's like taking her, like walking in slow motion. Goodbye, Mimi. Get the fucking Mimi hook, please. So then Brandon's like, okay, now we're going to get another fave worth getting out of bed for. Put makeup on for this. Laurence. And then Karasan looks really sad because she knows she's fucked. Right?
Yeah. So she's like, Laurence, where the hell did you learn how to cut a skirt? And if you would like to attach some teary story to it, by all means, please go ahead. So she's like, well, it's just, cutting a skirt. It's like a whole bunch of math and body. And, it's in my head. I really like, I enrolled in fashion school, and that's the year. And Elaine's like, oh yeah, we cracked Laurence. Yeah, just give it, just put it in my veins. Yes.
She's like, take your time, Laurence, please. Now, could you cry into this glass so I can drink your tears? That'd be great. So, Kristen, would you go hold this up to her eyes? Thank you.
Laurence is like, I got pregnant when I was 16 and no one knew about it. And I got a letter telling me I was accepted to fashion school. So I thought my life was over. But I only missed 2 weeks of school. But my father disowned me, and he never got over it. And he died, and we never spoke. And that's why I don't open up sometimes. Elaine's like, oh yeah. Elaine, right there.
Elaine literally goes, well, damn. Now that. I mean, Laurent, like I tease people about these stories, but Jesus Christ, this story is so much. I mean, it's like this woman is a badass. Can you imagine?
I know.
Being 16, I was like, geez, I love her. I'm blood and war.
I know.
So,
I mean, and also the fact that it's said in a French accent really just adds like a level of pathos to the whole thing. You're like, oh.
Yeah, she is just such a badass. So Nina's like, thank you for sharing. Because Nina does not like the drama stories. She's like, why are we talking about that? Every time someone shares, she does that squint thing. And she's like, thank you for sharing that.
I know there's been a lot of hardship, but it shaped you into a very talented, non-winning Project Runway designer, but you have this very strict personality and you're not letting go. So when I see you move out of that comfort zone and you play with the strict and the soft, that is when the magic comes out.
And Brandon's like, I mean, the jacket's not that modern, but the way you did it is great. And listen, this isn't a material you can make mistakes with. So well done. You know what's not made out of this material? The comforter on my bed, which is crazy. I don't know why I'm thinking about that. Right? Because I got out of it to come here. So thanks.
Yeah. Was it worth pausing The Last of Us? Not sure. But it's okay. It's okay. I liked it.
Carisons come out. It's one of their least faves, obviously, and very Madam of the Sea, they say. And Carison's like, well, I love my costume design, but this was designed because I'm inspired by Fairy Fashion Godmother, because that's my nonprofit. And Elaine's like, nonprofit? Do tell. And she's like, we sponsor kids, foster kids, and we put them in the spotlight by letting them create their own film. And Elaine's like, God, I love that. There's a lot of pain there and it feels good, but it's the ugliness outweighs the pain. I'm so sorry. Yeah. I'm sorry. There's a cape on your feathers. So like, can you take that hideous jacket off? And so they take off the jacket, and so then the model is there in this dress that was almost an afterthought. Like Carison's like, oh, I just have to make this thing, you know? And then like when they see the dress, they're all like blown away. They're like, oh my God. Oh, and Lane's like, this is more breathtaking without the jacket. I love that they love this thing that was like barely even mentioned or thought about. And she's like, yeah, way more breathtaking without the jacket. Okay, now, without the jacket on, Carison, say foster children. She's like, I already said that. Okay, well, you know what? If I can't hear that together with this look, you're going to have to go home. So, spoiler alert. And Brandon's like, you know, you can live out the film. You know, I think that sometimes you can make things where you can see fashion pop out and come into the real world from movies, but not today. It didn't work. And Nina's like, one thing is for sure. You will never be boring because you want everything to be spectacular, from the shoes to the dress to the jacket to the drink to the foster children. It just needs to be harnessed.
Brandon's like, I am still stuck on episode 2 of The Bear because of you. Okay, so I'm really disappointed.
I literally didn't find out what happened after that guy ran through the kitchen yelling corner. So,
I mean, all I know is that a bunch of to-go orders are coming through that little machine. Are they going to be able to handle it? I don't know, because I had to press pause to see this cape on a feather situation.
And Kato's watching this backstage, and she's like, but see, that's what I don't like. You want her to change what's working for her. You say be you, but can you also be someone else? Yeah, because they're judging each individual look. Being you doesn't mean that every, bad thing you make is going to be celebrated. It just doesn't. Listen, it doesn't for anybody. You know what I mean?
Not every part of you is wonderful. Okay.
Yeah.
You know, like the Army had that old slogan, be all that you can be, which implies that like there's a version of you where you can be all that you can be, and there's a version of you that's sort of like meh. So don't serve the meh version, serve the Army version, the all that you can be version.
Yeah, don't suck. Serve the you that doesn't suck. So now it's judges time, and Brandon's like, well, tonight proved to be particularly challenging. When you do everything, when you can do anything, I mean, that can be really hard. You know what I mean? You could get out of bed, you could go to bed. I got out of bed. It was hard. That's my point. That's really my only point. Am I allowed to go home yet? Nope. Okay, I will keep sitting here.
Also, no spoilers. I just got to the part where that little child on House of the Dragon got onto a dragon and flew somewhere. So fingers crossed. The season's just about to end. I'm hoping it works out well for that kid. So no spoilers, please, Nina.
So Nina's like, they all three had precise point of view. And Brandon's like, well, Rami, wow, can he cut a dress on a bias? No side seams at all.
And Elaine's like, it was classic, but he brought something fresh to the archetype, which is that he talked about being in lockdown as a child. That was very fresh. And then Elaine's saying, and Laurence's skill. I mean, this skirt, I think she stumbled upon her new signature. Something inside needs to break free for her. Or
it's like, oh, there's so much more to bring out of her. But in Bishmi, he has an innate sense of what is trending. And Elaine's like, yeah, when I drive home tonight, I'm going to still be thinking of that skirt.
And by skirt, of course, I mean my baby, because I'm a new mother. So Nina's like, well, I don't even know how he designed the bottom part. It's like when that child got killed in House the Dragon. Damn it, Nina, I just told you no spoilers.
So now they move on to Prajay and Karasan, and they're all bummed about it. And Brendan goes, Karasan, you first, Nina. She goes, why me first? Screw. And he goes, oh, she almost said screw you. Did you catch that, everybody? She's like, no, come on. Now, look, for me, it's Karasan has to learn to edit. And, it's just a perfect example of putting everything into one look. It's just fantastical.
Well, I don't know how you save that. There's no jean, there's no short, there's no skirt, there's no traumatic backstory that could ever save that jacket. You just can't make it work. And Nina's like, no, if I took that jacket out of context and said that's Alessandra Michele Fergucci, you'd be like, maybe. And then you'd probably laugh. And then you'd probably be like, what a stupid thing that Alessandra did. Maybe they shouldn't be a fashion designer. And then probably burn it up. So.
And Brandon's like, yeah, that's not really a fair way to judge, Nina. What if I say I could be George Clooney? Would you say maybe? That's not fair. She goes, but in the real world, designers have fantastical designs sometimes. Which I think I get what she's saying. She's like, okay, like it was bonkers, but it's fashion. Like, since when is that a bad thing?
Right. And Brandon's like, it was not a fantasy. I'm sorry. And Elaine goes, it was circus. So then they talk about projets, and Brandon's like, there were some nice elements in this, but in Ivory, my mom got married in this in 1981, and that's fine.
I love that he always brings it back to his mother. He brings it back to his mother so much. It cracks me up. He's just such a Southern boy, Yeah. And Elaine's like, it's just hard because so much of what he's shown us has ended up in the top. What are you talking about? Yes, it has, but he's also had 3 terrible weeks in a row.
Exactly.
They have very short memories, these judges. And she's like, I just think he's stuck, and I'm not really confident at this point that he's going to be able to fight his way out of it. And Nina's like, but listen, he wanted to surprise us. And Brandon goes, and he did. He surprised me more than the alarm clock. And I didn't even know I was supposed to be here today.
And Brandon's like, well, which of these looks could you see walking down a runway today? And Nina goes, none. Okay, well, if you had to choose one, if they were like, Nina, you have to put someone on the cover of Elle magazine. Why are you asking me? Why can't it be someone else? Because you get the most bothered by this. No, I'm not bothered at all. Screw you. Yeah, you said it.
Okay, let's bring them in here. Now listen, the winning look gave us a glimpse into the future. And let me tell you, Christian Siriano is in platform shoes and he's completely bald, by the way. Now the winner is Bishmi. And they're like, oh my God, yay. And he's like, it feels really good, but I'm trying not to be big-headed about it.
Yeah, I'm trying to get somewhere to show a collection. Thank you.
So then they're like, okay, Prajay and Karasan, we appreciate you delivering an impressive runway moments tonight. Impressive as in, wow, I can't believe someone had the balls to drag me away from my television in the rain to make me watch this crap. That was impressive that you tried that. You tried it.
Well, unfortunately, one of you will be going home. Karasan, well, let's start with Prajay. Prajay, this was dated. Didn't really get the snake. I didn't love the snake story. Would have preferred more trauma from the snake. Karasan, yours looked little like a fairy tale, not in a great way. And you gave us a story about foster kids. Unfortunately, the foster kids have a happy ending because you gave them a charity. And for that reason, I'm sending you and your happy kids, your happy ending foster children home. Goodbye, Karasan. Get the fuck out of my face with your happy endings. Bye. Hate you.
Brandon's like, Kara-san, I just want to say one thing before we send you back off to obscurity. Thank you for inspiring my successful career with your much less successful career. I owe so much of my journey to first my mother, and then to various character actresses, and finally to you a little bit. So I hate to see you go, but I'm glad that we got to see you make terrible things for us today. Okay, thanks so much, girl.
I'm super bummed that she is going home. I think this is completely unfair. Her dress was way better. Even the craziness and the cape, I get that that part was crazy, but when she took that off and showed just the dress, I thought it was very beautiful comparatively. Or I just
I thought it
3
was
weeks
better
in a
than
row.
Praje's.
I think she's made made so many fewer mistakes. I thought this was bad. I didn't. Like
I thought
this.
Prajay should have gone home last. Well, no, actually, I really disliked last week's. Anna's was really bad, but I thought Prajay's was really bad. Like, I would not have been upset with it going. And the week before, I also thought that he should have gone home. So I thought that his was worse than Kara-san's, even though the jacket was goofy. I agree. I thought the thing underneath it was redemptive enough to edge out the win there, but they just, I don't know.
Yeah, it sucks.
So she tells
But,
a nice story though at the
I love
end.
her.
Yeah, it would have also
really
been great, like she was season 1. If she came back to win season 20, it would have been great. But
Yeah, I know.
But she
You
tells
gotta
a story-
root for the season 1 chick, man.
yeah, and she tells a lovely story about how her mom loved Project Runway, and then she was talking with her mom on the sofa, like, should I do it? I'm gonna do the show, and then 2 weeks later, her mom died. So she felt like this was like her mom's doing. So it was really, really lovely, etc.
Oh, gosh. Well, everybody, thanks for being here for the little Project Runway. We did Project Runway this week because we wanted to keep up with it, but it also means one has to go for the week. So we are sending
Crappy Lake.
Crappy Lake to the back of the line this week. We will be doing the season finale next week, I think. Didn't we say that? What did we
We
say?
probably
to each
will.
other?
It's a season finale, so we'll I'm sure we'll cover it.
So we might not be back for Project Runway next week, but we really do love keeping up with this show. It's a great show, and it's so cool that in season 20 it's still so good.
Yeah, and we also have Atlanta. We have a recap of Atlanta that will be up later. So everyone, thanks so much for listening and for watching, and for Bueller for finally waking up. Hello. I mean,
Yeah,
he's
took
only
his
like the star of
time.
the podcast, and he's sleeping.
And we were
when
like,
everyone's
God,
watching.
this show's doing so great. And then Bueller starts licking his wiener. I'm like, great timing, dude.
That's a sign. So everyone, thanks very much. We'll catch you in the next one. Bye.
Bye. Watch What Crappens would like to thank its premium sponsors.
Know Your Worth with Jason Kurth.
Ain't no thing like Allison King.
Ashley Savoni, she don't take no baloney.
She's not just a Sheila, she's a Daniela. Itchels. Aaron McNicholas, she don't miss no trickolas.
She's never scary. It's the Green Fairy.
Hava Nagila Weber.
Jamie, she has no last namey.
Sipped some scotch with Jessica Trotch. Kristen the Piston Anderson.
She's always supplying. It's Kelly Ryan.
Megan Berg. You can't have a burger without the Berg.
You're never alone with Lacey Monteleone.
Let's give a kisserino to Lisa Lino.
There ain't no problem that Sarah Salvia can't solve ya.
Ruru LaRue.
The Bay Area Betches.
And our super premium sponsors, the incredible edible Matthews sisters.
Somebody get us 10 cc's of Betsy MD.
She's not harsh. She's Jill Hirsch.
We're taking the gold with Brenda Silva. Erica, 500 Days of Summers.
She's the queen bee. It's Sarah Lemke. We love him madly. It's Kyle Pod Shadley.
Don't get salty with Christine Pepper. Let's go on a bender with Lauren Fender.
My favorite Murdo, Karen McMurdo.
Nobody holds a candle to Jamie Kendall.
Give him hell, Miss Noel.
Can't have a meal without the Emily Sides.
Let's get real with Caitlin O'Neill.
We want to hang with Liz Lang.
Shannon, out of a cannon, Anthony. Let's take off with Tamla Plain.
She ain't no shrinking Violet Kuchar. We love you guys.
Hey Prime members, you can listen to Watch What Crappens ad-free on Amazon Music. Download the Amazon Music app today. Or you can listen ad-free with Wondery Plus in Apple Podcasts. Before you go, tell us about yourself by completing a short survey at